MING just dropped the final chapter of their 3705 Moonphase trilogy. Meet the Lunatic. It's futuristic, luminous, and frankly, one of the most visually surprising moon phases we've seen in a while. Here's what you need to know. Firstly, this has a moon phase and date complication, with the moon phase displayed in the top half as a progress bar rather than with a traditional moon. Secondly, the dial is semi-transparent and subtly reveals the date and moon disk lying underneath. And lastly, this is the final entry in MING's 37 series Moonphase collection and is limited to 100 pieces. Now, when I first saw this watch, I was immediately drawn to the dial, or rather the date wheel beneath it. As you probably already know, there's a small but growing trend of smoked sapphire dials made popular with the Lange Lumen series, and more recently in the Patek Philippe 6159G. The Lunatic offers a similar aesthetic, but at a much more accessible price point, which you might say is the other reason it's called the Lunatic. This is one of those watches that you have to see in person. The smoked effect of the dial is quite subtle, which I believe is the point. It actually encourages you to take your time while studying the dial. When the light hits the dial at just the right angle and you get that peekaboo effect, it's such a rewarding feeling. But that's just one aspect of the design though. Let's not forget the moon phase side of things. Now, MING has been iterating on the 3705 Moonphase since 2021. Series 1, which I'm wearing right now, leaned into the classic Moonphase dress watch idea. Series 2 got a little whimsical with a wandering stars complication. This is Series 3 and it takes a very different approach to the Moonphase aperture, even by the collection's own standards. The Moonphase indicator is this curved bar at the top half, which looks very much like a progress bar. It's subtle, unconventional, but yet intuitive, which is very much in line with the design ethos of MING. Let's talk about the Lume. It's no secret that this is something MING is known for. The hour and minute track glows white, which comes from a proprietary pigment that's developed by Ming Tian himself, and they call it polar white. The hands, date, and moon wheel glow blue for a bit of contrast. Moving behind the dial, we see MING's SW288.M1 caliber, which is a Selena movement made specifically for MING, finished with skeletonized matte blasted bridges and contrasting rhodium brushing. It's a manual wind movement with a roughly 40 hours of power reserve and features quickset for both the moon and date. With the crown in the first position, winding it away from you changes the date, while winding it towards you changes the moon phase. Now put the crown one more time to the fully extended position and you can set the time. When it comes to wearability, MING's comfortable 37 series case keeps the Lunatic compact on the wrist. At 38mm wide, 44mm lug to lug, and 11.9mm thick including the crystals, it's not a delicate dress watch, but neither is it an oversized statement. On the wrist, it wears a bit thinner than I expected. If you're new to MING, wearability and ergonomics is always a top priority for them. In a way, they're obsessed about it.
It was a 3-month fight to get it down to 41.5 because MING wanted it at 41.
The lugs are very aggressively tapered and downward sloping, and it sits very well on the wrist. Despite the 38mm size, this watch is suitable even if you have wrists as small as 15cm. The 20mm lug spacing means you've got plenty of strap options. MING ships it on this wide FKM strap, which is super comfortable and gives it a very luxurious but sporty vibe. Credit where it's due, the white strap works extremely well, but with the largely monochromatic color palette, the Lunatic is extremely versatile and strap-friendly. Now here are a few other looks if you want to bring some colors in. First, we have the black curve CTS for a stealth look. There's also the navy version, since navy pairs well with just about everything. Moving on to leather options, we have the brown waxy signature for a more classic look, and finally, for a burst of color, the Colibri Chevre Slim. Now let's go around our boutique and see what people think of this watch.
What are your first impressions of the Lunatic?
It reminded me of the very first Tron movie, is what I will say.
It has this very mysterious vibe about it. That's my impression of it anyway. I can tell at first glance that it's a semi-translucent dial, but you have to look at it a certain way before you can actually see what's going on.
Well, what I really like about it is the Moonphase wheel. So I think there's really clean lines, looks very futuristic. I like the white dial, I like the semi-translucent case as well. Yeah.
Particular favorite feature of this watch for you?
I think, to me, again, just like what I said about the Tron movie reference, it just feels like a loading screen. The Moonphase. Not quite traditional, but it's very retro or game-like.
I mean, it'll have to be the Moonphase aperture. I mean, it's just totally unconventional. I've never seen a Moonphase display done like this before.
I feel like for this watch, what is really stunning is the back of the case. The exhibition case back shows a beautiful movement, and you know it's kind of a nice contrast to the somewhat subtle dial.
What strap would you pair with this watch though?
Easily, I put the Himalayan alligator. The matte Himalayan alligator on this, most definitely it has to be a curve, but I think it will complement everything fairly well.
For straps, I don't know, this could go so many ways because of its color palette, right? It's like monochromatic and all that. So, crowd favorite, I'll go with something blue, I would say. Like a deep blue, navy blue.
On this, I think I'll go maybe in gray or blue, keep it sleek.
After seeing the watch in person over the past few days, here's my take. The list of Moonphase watches at this price point of 5,250 Swiss francs that's also wearable if you have a small to medium wrist is very small. And there's definitely none that's as modern or subtle as this. We've had quite a number of people looking at this watch in person and think it's a simple two-hander with a date complication. Now only when they see the little moon icon at the top, or when we tell them it's a Moonphase with the progress bar, then they see it. But apart from the Moonphase complication, what I'm really drawn to is the semi-transparent smoke dial. It sounds like a very simple feature, but it makes a huge difference. It's one of those things that's only apparent to the wearer or someone staring closely at the watch. Now, I've always been a fan of seeing the moving parts of a mechanical watch, whether through a skeletonized or open work dial, or just having the movement on the dial side. Smoke dials are another way of achieving that effect in a much more discreet and clean way. The Lunatic allows me to get that at a much more affordable price point compared to the alternatives today. I love that you get to see the date wheel hiding behind the dial and immediately understand how a date complication works. But at the same time, because it's partially hidden, it doesn't clutter up the dial or make it too distracting. Once again, this is the MING 3705 Lunatic, the last 37 series Moonphase with just 100 pieces made. Sales are now live on MING's website, but if you're here in Singapore, you can actually swing by to the Deluxe flagship boutique from now until 5th October and view the watch in person.